Hello, and welcome to Totally Schway Flipside, a podcast about whatever the hell I want it to be about. My name is Mary.
My name's Luke.
And today, we are going to talk about Penguin, the Sopranos spinoff, Episode 3, Bliss. So, apologies if my voice isn't as high as it usually is. I say that and then it'll be as high as ever. I've had a flu shot, so forgive me. And every time I have a flu shot, I'm like, oh, I'm just so sick. So let's get into this episode. How are you today, Luke?
Generally, I am well, thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm meh.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
But we watched The Penguin, didn't we? And
we did, at 6 this morning.
I know.
Or 7 this morning.
No, it was 6 something.
Oh, okay.
But it brightened your day, I would hope.
A little bit. Tiny, yeah, well, yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I've written my notes, as always. They are perfect, pristine, and totally legible. It totally makes sense to anyone and everyone.
Yeah, I don't get them.
My first note is Victor's flashback. Because the episode starts with, obviously we're not going to go through every little thing that happened through the episode, but this is quite important because we get to see a little bit of Victor's past.
Yeah, so one thing I've noticed is that they kind of alluded to his past in an earlier episode. I think it might even have been the last episode.
Yeah, it was.
Because he was getting text messages from someone asking where he was.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't pay off on that until the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll come back to this notion later on when we talk about some of the other stuff that happened. But we saw what happened to Victor and his family the night that of the election when the Riddler blew up the seawall in Gotham.
I would like to know y'all's thoughts about that. If y'all have seen this, and hopefully y'all have seen this. If not, I hope my play-by-play is good enough, or my notes are good enough. So, spoiler alert, allegedly they are dead, but I don't know, because you don't actually, in a movie, in a TV show, in a radio play, because, we're that old, you always know that somebody is gone because they either said that they were gone or you saw it.
I mean, you kind of saw it. You saw them in their apartment, and then you saw that massive wave come towards it.
I didn't see anyone swimming.
No, it's because they were killed by the force of the water.
But you also heard him say the fireworks. I don't know if you caught this, because the reason why he was on the rooftop with his friends is because he said the fireworks were going to be on.
Yeah.
But how do you know that his family didn't go see the fireworks as well?
Because you saw his mother in the apartment from the window.
I wasn't paying that much attention.
Because he was on the rooftop and he called his family, and you could see his mother got up out of the chair to answer the phone, and then the water came and...
Maybe they had life jackets.
Probably not.
Maybe they had a sofa.
I mean, when you've got
that had a life jacket. When you go on an aeroplane and you go, they say that you could use your seat. Maybe they're couch cushions. Ew, I hate couch. I never say that. They're sofa cushions. It's because I've been watching American TV. They're sofa cushions.
So a 50-foot wave hit them. The force of all that water is gonna kill them, I think.
I mean, I have survived worse things.
What, a 50-foot wave? It was a 51-foot wave hit you and it was fine.
I lived in Oklahoma.
Yeah, the landlocked state.
Yeah. I know what gusts of wind of 70 miles an hour on a good day. Just a regular August evening.
Yeah, I think
I'm joking.
It is fairly safe to assume they are dead.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend, whose name escapes me at the moment, her family were also killed.
Yeah.
Because she says, our families are dead. There's no one here for us anymore.
They could just be. They could have survived the 50-foot wave that crashed into their apartment building, and they could just be at a really nice hotel a couple streets over.
I think it's unlikely. Wait until we get to the final episode and they'll come, hey, we're back from our vacation.
In one of those heart-shaped bed motels, but I've never seen in person.
Yeah.
I don't know if they really exist. Second note, is Calvin a baddie?
Calvin's one of his school friends.
Yeah.
Who has a cousin who is a drug dealer, which will probably come into the play later on.
Yeah.
Seeing as they took the time to introduce him and gave him a line of dialogue.
Yeah. It was like Calvin and Squid.
Squid, that was it. I wonder if he Sid the Squid. That's going to be one of those
Everybody's gonna
clickbaity
think
headlines.
that, yeah.
Like, oh my God, the Penguin just teased a classic Batman the Animated Series character, Sid the Squid.
Our thumbnail's going to be Sid the Squid.
Yeah, no.
So there's not a lot to say about Calvin. So I just put that in there. So my next one, the Booms kill Victor's family. Maybe.
Definitely.
That was my other note, so we've talked about that. Oh, this one I thought was kind of, well, it did kind of happen. It did. So, if you don't know, but about the Penguin, the beginning credit scene is it's the Penguin, and then
the show logo.
Yeah, the show logo, and you can see the Penguin's nose in it. And most of the time that they've done this, I say most of the time, this is the 3rd episode, but they've done it on Colin Farrell's nose, as in his nose is in the penguin's nose.
The point of the G looks a bit like a penguin's beak, and it often lines up with Colin Farrell's nose in this transition.
And it was obvious that in this episode that they focused in on Victor, but they didn't do that. They made sure the nose wasn't lined up because he was facing the opposite direction. And I think, I hope that they've done that on purpose.
I'm certain they did. Victor
is pure in terms of how he wants to see, how he sees life, whereas as Oz, he knows that the world is not a good place. He knows that, and he just takes advantage of it.
Well, yes, he has a whole speech about it later on, and just to kind of touch on one of the points that I think we were going to talk about later, but I may as well bring it up now, is that flashback at the beginning has Victor and his family, and his dad kind of gives him some advice. You know, Victor's saying to him, you know, I went to all this effort to get this special part. Your boss should be paying you more for this custom job. You need more. You need to get more out of life. And his dad says, I remember where we came from when we had nothing. This is enough. Yeah. Contrast that fatherly advice with what the Penguin says to him.
Exactly.
Penguin is now his father figure, and Penguin saying to him, you want more from life? You've got to take more, because you can work your whole life like your dad did, and you'll have nothing to show for it at the end. You may as well do what you can now, get what you can, and take what you want out of life, because no one is going to hand it to you.
Yeah.
And he is kind of right. Kind of.
This is why I'm not a rich person, because I feel kind of like how Juan did. Juan is Victor's father. I feel that if you show your hard work and you show people that you're kind of an okay person, then, you know, life will not hand you things, but hopefully you'll get further in life. Now, I do know that's not right.
That's wishful thinking.
Yeah.
And it does work out that way sometimes. It really does.
For most people, it doesn't.
Yes.
And that sucks. But I really hope that they do Victor right. And I hope that they show they continue to show his kind of naive side.
Yeah, I mean, Penguin very clearly saw something of himself in him, didn't he? And he kind of alludes to that later on, where I really love their exchange in the bathroom of the club near the end of the episode, where Victor's girlfriend is leaving and she wants him to go with her, and he wants to go with her, but he doesn't think Penguin will let him. And Penguin's reaction to this is just like, what? I've got you prisoner. I'm holding you hostage. No, if you want to go, get out of here. Leave now.
And then he pulls a gun on him.
He does pull a gun on him, but that's kind of out of frustration.
Yeah, I know.
Not
he's
necessarily
saying, like, this is what it would be like if I was holding you prisoner. And he's making the point that he's not holding him prisoner.
Yeah, and he let him go. He said, you can leave. And it absolutely ruined Penguin's day. You can see he's supposed to be celebrating. He's made this massive drug deal with the Triads.
Yeah, that's
and
another
he's drowning his sorrows. He's upset that Victor's left.
Yeah. Shall we talk about the Triads since you just mentioned them?
Yeah, we can do. Yeah.
I don't know what to talk about yet, because I don't think that I think that they're going to be part of the bigger picture in the next 3 episodes. How many episodes is the big one?
8. So there's
8.
5 more.
Yeah, 5 more episodes. I really hope, because some of those characters that we've met, like Sai, and I can't remember the man they actually spoke to.
The Dai Lao.
Dai Lao, yeah.
I mean, that's a title, but the Dai Lao.
Yeah, but I can't remember the actual name.
Yeah.
If they even gave him a name.
They did, but I can't remember either.
But they I bet you they'll be great characters because they'll be like pretty badass.
Yeah, I liked the so he's having the dial hours meeting with Sofia Falcone and Penguin, and he's like, I've looked into your background, Sofia Falcone, and I don't know if I should go into business with you because you're mental.
Yeah.
And she says, well, I've looked into you too, and I know that before your family was kicked out of was it China or was it Thailand? It was one of those countries. I think it was China. Anyway, forgive me for misremembering the detail there.
A cat probably walked by me.
But your father was an eminent psychiatrist, and surely he understands that all desire is motivated by like need, I suppose, a psychological want for something.
Yeah.
And she points out to the crowd of people that are taking their new drug, Bliss. She said, look, these people have had their homes destroyed, their lives upended, but they're coming here. They're spending up to $60 a pop to just escape from it all for a few hours. So that is an opportunity right there. And you can walk away from it, that's fine. I can go with a different gang.
I really hope we get more from the Triads. Well, I'm pretty sure we will, because it's there's nothing. I know, again, it's a Sopranos spinoff. That joke's never gonna get old. No. But it's nice to see something other than the stereotypical gangster, like mob gangster type of character. Whereas when you introduce the Triads, you get a different story. Like, you get people that have like come and, like you said, that person said that one of their family members was a psychiatrist, and you're getting a little bit more of a story other than this person's father and son and all of that were already in the mob.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You're broadening the characters and their experiences.
My explanations are grand.
I don't think that the Triads are going to be significant characters. I think Penguin's going to find some way to screw them over as well. I mean, even when he goes to see his friend in the Triad, the guy pulls a gun on him and is like, "Where's my money for those cigarettes?" Yeah.
I find that really funny as well, because that also gave a little bit of, although it's kind of a serious scene, it gave some comedic.
Yeah.
What is that called? Comedic.
I would have said it was some levity.
Yes.
Provided some levity.
Some levity.
Comedically breaks the tension, something like that.
Yeah. And it was nice, and I just think the Triads are different than the gangsters we've seen before, who are always like, I'm the big bad muscle.
Yeah, and so often in these kind of shows, Asian gangsters are often presented as like kung fu experts, but these guys weren't.
No, I didn't even think of that, actually.
Oh, I know. It's kind of tedious, actually.
But I just thought it was nice to see something other than the stereotypical like mob gangster. Nothing wrong with that, because I have watched a lot of movies and television shows with those stereotypical characters in there. But it's nice to see something different, is what I'm saying. Okay, so
can we talk very briefly about Bliss?
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that at all.
Yeah, so Bliss is their new drug, the thing that Alberto was touting in the first episode.
It comes from a shroom.
Yeah, it's a secretion from a mushroom, isn't it? And one thing worth noting is the cultivator of the mushrooms. It's called Mr. Bloom.
Mr. Bloom. Put that together.
Mr. Bloom is a Batman villain, who has got like basically a plant head. They never disclosed his origin or anything. He's been described as being the anti-Joker in a way. He's not really like very talkative or anything like that, but he's kind of like a horror character, and I thought that was a nice nod. Presumably this one was intentional. It's not like that one. He's called Victor, so he must be Mr. Freeze or Mr. Zaz.
Where's Nora?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a nice subtle.
Oh, he could be
reference.
Cyborg.
Oh, nobody said that. Victor Stone, of course. Gee, we've just cracked the case.
Damn it. No, but going back to Bliss, I don't think this is a real thing, like in real life.
What, mushroom secretions?
No, as in like this drug.
Oh, no, this drug is a fabrication, much like the drops. They're not a real thing, I don't think.
I just think there was red food colouring on their tongues, if I'm being honest.
May very well be, yes. But it was something that was coming from mushrooms that were growing at Arkham. And
yes,
they were using
big.
it. Yeah, they were using the the drug as treatment for the patients to kind of put them in a euphoric stupor so they forget who they are and what they've done.
Can I have some?
Yeah, that does sound good, doesn't it?
I would like some today.
But yeah, so Sofia has got first-hand experience with the drug, and that's why she wants to sell it as a party drug.
Yeah.
But she has to do that behind the family's back.
So the character of Sofia,
Mm-hmm.
obviously very different from what
Quite.
From what I would have, the synopsis of Sofia that I have read online, because we all know that I'm not, my ADHD does not let me read the comics. But, she's not like 7 foot tall and this and that. I am not disliking how her character is developing.
No, and I like that they took the time to explain the family relations with the different heads of the different members of the Falcone crime family. So like they said,
it was important.
They said Johnny Vitti is. Did they say he was her cousin because it's her mother's sister's son.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Her mother's sister's son, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they are cousins. They are blood relatives, and she has no problems at all with blackmailing him.
Oh no! Oh yeah, that's something as well. Before they meet with the Triads, or the what did you say? The Dai Lao.
Yeah.
They it's so funny. The way that they do this is they have someone sleep with him, but the person that they have sleep with him is Luca's wife.
Well, yes, yeah, they were having an affair because the Penguin had photographs of them, but Penguin basically confronts her and tells her to continue doing what she's doing, but to give him the key card to the hotel room so they can get in.
He already had proof.
Yes,
but he couldn't say that to Sofia, could he? Because that would have caught him out on something.
Well,
I never thought about that.
Yeah, so basically, if he showed her that he had all of her father's blackmail material, that would kind of catch him in a bind a bit.
Yeah.
So he's just showing her what he has discovered.
Yeah. So this is... It's not... I don't think it's a huge part of the story, in my opinion. I think it's just showing that Johnny V is a bit of a dick.
Yes, but he makes a very accurate assessment of Penguin.
Oh, yes.
Very accurate.
And it angers him to the core.
And that's why it angers Penguin, because he knows it's true. You know, he says that Penguin can't be trusted, that he was kept around mostly for amusement. He's never going to be anybody. He's just, a guy that they kept around for doing odd jobs.
Yeah.
And that he wants to be a big shot, and he should never be. And they all laugh at him.
Yeah.
And his response to this is, I think he stuck a knife in Johnny's mouth, didn't he?
It was his phone.
Was it his phone?
I think it was his phone.
Okay.
Because that's why his phone was broken.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I think it was his phone. Please tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I might be misremembering, but he did. Perhaps he just shoved the phone in his mouth and was just like being quite aggressive towards him.
I think so.
And you see Sofia was just like nodding along.
Literally, she did not. And that actress that plays her, love her. Not fazed one bit.
No, I mean she also knows that to be true about Penguin. Of course she does. But he's a useful tool for her at the moment. And it's so sad that she spends the later part of the episode saying, how can I trust you after what you did to me? Which we'll probably find out about later episode maybe next episode if previous form is anything to go by.
Speaking of what happens to Sofia. So we talked about a scene where Penguin lets Victor go. Oh. Victor comes back. Well, he comes back, and it is I have to say, it was very, kick-ass and funny, but kind of sad because Victor came back. Yeah,
because he's he marches out of the club upset with Penguin, and he steals the Plummobile, as I've been calling it. Yes, his plum car. And he drives to the bus station where he's supposed to be going to California with his girlfriend, and he's just looking at this dreary line of people lining up, all in drab clothes, holding their life's possessions with them, which is very little, as they get on a bus. And he's sat in this sports car, and he can't do it. He can't. Yeah. He can't let it go. He wants more for himself. So he goes back, and he stumbles across Penguin and Sofia being held at gunpoint by the Maronis.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like they're about to be executed. And what does he do?
He runs them over.
Yes.
He runs them over, and Penguin gets in the car, and even though Victor is visibly hurt from the airbags, they reverse and start heading out. But where's Sofia?
Yes.
And that's what we're going to find out. And I think it's going to get a bit dicey after this.
Oh, yeah.
Spicy.
I mean, it's just so ironic that, Penguin was just talking about, she says, how can I trust you? He says, you're just going to have to let me show you, or something along those lines. And he does show her how untrustworthy he is, because the first chance he gets, he runs away and drives off, leaving her with the Maronis.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's the episode. I know I said I wasn't going to do like a play-by-play. We kind of didn't, but we kind of did.
Yeah, kind of did a bit.
But at the end of the day, it's my show, and I can talk about whatever I want.
I suppose there were two things on your notes that we didn't touch upon.
Cops.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Very funny scene with Victor getting... he wasn't pulled over because he was already pulled over in a lay-by or a
police officer
area.
Saw him and thought he was suspicious. I mean, there's various reasons why they would have thought that, but it's a white cop that that comes up to Victor's window and is like, "Get out of the car," and then he obviously searches Victor, and he's like, "Oh, look at this money," because Penguin in the episode earlier gave him like $1,000, and he gave some of it to his girlfriend, and then he had the other, and the cop was like, "This is a lot of money for a young man," and Victor's like, "What money?"
Yeah, I don't have any money. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have any. Wink, wink.
Yeah, and then the cop's just like, carry on. Or something like that.
Yeah.
But obviously,
when your boss gets here, get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that I have is Vic's PTSD.
Yeah.
The way that they did this, I think it's very realistic on how some triggers happen with PTSD, especially with loud noises, because as again, I think I've talked about this before, but I have PTSD. Sometimes certain smells or certain things from certain TV shows that I hear in the background or whatever trigger it, and in this there were like bumps in the music that made him think of the booms from the bombs.
Yeah.
That would have been a great like rap lyric. Bumps from the music and booms from the bombs.
Write this down.
Yeah. Record it. But I thought that was very, very nice. That was a nice touch, and it's nice to see that popular TV shows aren't just saying, "Oh my God, PTSD is about someone just shaking on the and cold sweats and all of that." Because no, it's very. I thought this was a very realistic approach to PSD triggers, because he was on the ground, but he wasn't like.
He was just kind of fumbling, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was just like, he couldn't get his head straight.
Yeah.
He was like, calm
And
down.
And out. It was in and out. And I think I really love the fact that they are treating mental illness with all seriousness in this show. Even if it's something like Sofia and her mental illness that we aren't completely sure what it is. But you can see the things that have happened to her have affected her in some way, and you can see that by her being closed off and the way that she reacts or doesn't react to certain things, especially violence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's not at all fazed by it.
That's it might seem odd for me to mention something like that, but
I don't think so.
It's really nice to see something that is so similar to me, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
With that, should we get to the comments?
Yeah, okay, let's go over to the comments. So first of all, first time commenter, I think, is Midas Dove K69, possibly Midas Dove K.
Hello.
Who says W video. I assume that means win video and not worst video, or I was going to say an English swear word then, I decided not to. Glad you enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you.
I hope you're listening to this one as well. Frozen Jack says, I love that Oswald sleeps in a safe inside a jeweler's. Don't ask why, it speaks to me, but it does.
Frozen Jack, do you happen to like The Shining?
Judging by the picture.
I always wanted to ask them that. I say always, the last couple of times I've seen them. Anyways, thank you.
Next we have Zehanot10 who says...
I was going to say thank you for letting me do my joke.
Zehanot10 says, 11 minutes 14, if there's a random character called Jonathan in this series, someone somewhere will probably say, oh my god, it's Scarecrow! At 25:39, it was similar in Gotham. Robin Lord Taylor's Penguin was that show's highlight. Yeah, to be honest, I didn't really love Gotham very much. I liked the first season more when it was more kind of grounded and about street crime, and then it just kind of got lost with itself. It had a lot of what I view as like the negative stuff that people associate with comic books. But, you know, the show has its fans, and if you love it, that's cool.
Word.
Mary hasn't watched all of Gotham. So next we have David Carney, who says, hi, Mary and Luke.
Hello.
Listening to the podcast before watching TNA wrestling. Do you know, in the Golden Age, Dr. Hugo Strange used fear dust? Yeah, I did know that, actually.
I did too, actually.
Clancy Brown is one of my favourite actors. I've heard this is not a comic book show, even though it's adapting Dark Victory. Have a good week. Yeah, I mean, it's got some elements of Dark Victory, but it's less of an adaptation and more of kind of something, a show that absorbed Dark Victory in year one and all of these Batman comics through like osmosis or something.
Word.
All right.
I sound like such a fake fan, but I promise I'm not.
Well, you're not massively into reading the comic books, are you? You prefer to watch the animated series and the movies and stuff.
I prefer long form books. Whereas I need to, if I'm going to read a comic, I need to read the entire storyline at the same time. Mm-hmm. And when I try to do this, I get sidetracked by the pictures. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, oh shit, that's great. I'm going to put that on my Pinterest. Oh my gosh, yes, I'm going to put this on my Pinterest. Yeah. And then I'm just, 3 hours later, I'm on TikTok wondering if there's a Catwoman nail polish.
All from one picture.
Yeah, it's true.
Next, we have Harry Flew TV, who says, I honestly want Penguin to say before he kills someone, I guess it's true what they say, society is to blame. Hi, society. Yes, a line from Birds of a Feather there. Maybe Veronica Vreeland could tie into the Penguin story as a callback to Birds of a Feather, but this time Penguin and Veronica swap roles, and this time Oswald is the one using her. Or maybe they could do something else out of the Veronica Vreeland storyline, tying into Penguin's story, foreshadowing the Batman Part 2, where Bruce meets Veronica, and she helps him come out of that reclusive pit that Bruce tries to climb out of at the end of the first movie. Perhaps she could still be a wealthy, entitled socialite, but over time, she develops as a character, as she and Bruce help each other see the light. If this doesn't happen, then oh well, I'm doing something similar to that for my own Batman series. I just want more callbacks to BTAS. Yeah, I'd be surprised if Veronica Vreeland appears in anything, frankly, but you never know.
Can we has the filming or writing started for Batman
Writing's
2?
Done. They're filming in February, apparently.
Okay, guys, you haven't started filming yet. Warner Brothers, it's me again. I haven't spoken to anyone about this other than you guys, so hear me out. Bring back Andrea. Do a Phantasm. Like,
that would be cool.
How awesome would that be? And let it be Kristen Stewart. I said it. Our Pats and K-Stew together again. Let's do this, guys. I'm just saying. I like Twilight, and I'm not even ashamed of it, even though I'm speaking really loud. Let's move on.
Next we have Lowell Lucas Jr., who says, hey, today it's totally Schway. Coming at you on a Tuesday. No way.
Yeah.
Still want to see Mr. Oswald, but gonna renew my HBO Max account as soon as things get better for me, recovery and all that. Still, I don't mind the spoilers, as it excites me even further to see it. Also, Mary, are you sure you're not related to MJ Watson? Are you cheating on Peter with Luke? I'm telling on you.
No comment. But I have something to say about this in terms of saying, like, if you watch Flipside and you think these are spoilers, if you can actually listen to me for the amount of time that I'm talking about a specific topic, I applaud you, because I can't listen to me. And I can't listen to me and actually get what I'm talking about.
He continues. As always, great content, you two. I also don't care that much for Court of Owls, as they really haven't done anything outside of their narrative. Almost similar to The Demon's Hand, Rish's Assassins. Sure, they're elusive and exclusive, but there's very little to nothing to make me fear them. That's just my silly little opinion, and you're free to enjoy whatever you like. Random question. I'm going ahead and making that I Love Harley video, but should I include my B-Test box sets? Kevin wrote a special message involving Mad Love on it.
Yes! Yes! Double yes, triple yes. Do it.
I don't believe that was even a serious question. I think you just wanted to hear us be enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Well, you got your wish, Lowell Lucas Jr.
Yeah. I need to stop doing that. It actually hurts my throat.
Swear to me.
I could be the next... Oh my god, our Pats, watch out. I could be the next Batman.
You could be James Gunn's Batman. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, so last comment is from... I nearly said the late.
Oh no.
He's not dead. He seems to have his account back. So
Yay.
Michael Andre Parlon.
The original Mikey P.
The suspension is over. Oh, 3 days after the mainline podcast. Interesting. Anyway, just watching after finishing up on Mononoke, getting an upcoming film trilogy, with the first getting a Netflix release. Wish Ayakashi Samurai Horror Tales also is there, though considering episodes 9 through 11 are basically the important Bakeneko plot arc and the Llamas with Hats epilogue yesterday, and so... I understand all of those words in isolation, but in that specific order, it means nothing to me. So
when I originally read this comment, it might have been yesterday, the day before yesterday. I read it out loud because I've read it before, but when I read it out, I was like, Luke, I think he's doing this on purpose.
yeah, I'm certain he is now, and it's fine.
I love it.
Inside Man by Spike Lee, currently avoiding his films for now. They can be way too preachy alongside some of Oliver Stone's. I feel apathetic on those MCU Netflix shows, particularly the hype dryer that is Defenders. Also recommend the first Highlander film, also the Search for Vengeance anime film too. If Luke can't grow a beard, then I can't grow beauteous, if feminine hair, akin to Dirty Pear's Yuri, or Puello Magi Madoka's Magicas. Homura Akemi. What? Just look up their character designs? No. And really, their loose hair is worth envying. In short, my hair is somewhat like Pop Harukaze's. When I think of the name Mary, there's James, Watson's wife, Mary Morstan, from The Signs of Four, or The Sign of Four, excuse me, and possibly died prior to the adventures of the empty house from the return of Sherlock Holmes. If not that, there's Ojamanjo Doremi's Momoko Asuka's spoiled brat classmate from the States. That just sounds like an unflattering comparison.
When I hear the name Mary, I run.
Usually because someone's calling you.
Yeah.
For me, unskippable intros would be for Gargoyles, Kim Possible, Serial Experiments, Lane, Paranoia Agent, Monster, Mushi Shi Zoku Show, mostly for Lucy Rose OP Shiva, and Revolutionary Girls Utena. Unskippable outros would be Steins Gate, the aforementioned Madoka Magica from episode 3 onwards. The Clarice Connect intro may also count, especially after watching the revelatory episode 10 and FLCL. Don't blame me on why they're mostly anime, blame Western animation for not being more flashy and varied.
We always do.
Yes, it's a Chekhov's gun. This Act 1 thingy will become useful in the climax trope. Strange thing to say, would like the show to have a special black and white episode just like Gunblaster episode 6 and some bits of the Justice League Unlimited's epilogue.
Can I tell you what I think about black and white episodes?
No.
Love them.
Pertaining to Lowell's conundrum, was the account really cancelled? Maybe the password sharing got banned. Yeah, password sharing is a very dangerous thing. I don't recommend doing it. 39 minutes and 15 seconds. I beg to differ. Gotta stay true to the canon no matter what. Disliking Rings of Power has lots of merit. Just why did Elrond kiss Galadriel, mother of his beloved wife Celebrian, and thus grandmother to Arwen?
La 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 la, Doubtless City.
I think he said Lucas Jr. Then I think Big Mikey P is not familiar with how can I phrase this in a PG way? Just look on adult websites. I think you'll find this kind of thing is very common, I'm afraid. God bless you, though, for being so pure.
No, do you want to know something about watching this show and reading, Lord of the Rings and stuff like that? I sometimes forget which characters have had romantic interest and which characters are related. So the creators of the show, I can probably forgive them a little bit because there's so much information. But in the end, I always get it, and I am a little bit creeped out, if I'm being honest.
I think we haven't actually watched Rings of Power yet, so that might have been a spoiler for us, gasp.
I know, but I know the,
Mm-hmm.
I've unfortunately, I look on TikTok and I ended up seeing some stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, we're waiting for it all to be available before we watch it, aren't we?
Yeah.
Anyway, 48 minutes and 23 seconds and 49 minutes and 15 seconds are one and the same, unfortunately speaking. For something not dark from DC Comics, there's Shea Fortana's DC Superhero Girls up to Season 4, plus a Season 5 episode set in the Fortress of Solitude, which was supposed to be Season 4's finale. Can even admit it's better than Lauren Faust's Hipster Boys Are Frat Losers 2019 series. Sailor Moon is fair, but I prefer the aforementioned Utena, Madoka, and Doremi, plus Card Captor Sakura and Princess Tutu, Kill La Kill, and Panty and Stocking. Yes, they also count as Mahou Shoujo, for some reasons, and maybe pre-cure titles like Splash Star and Heartcatch more. Not helping is that the Sailor Moon anime isn't as faithful as much as the preferred manga, all while Crystal has become a bit too distilled despite its manga faithful promises. We'll await the next flip side.
That is not the first time I've heard that about Crystal, by the way. Just wanted to note that.
I don't know what any of that is. So those are all the comments, Mary.
He said we'll await the next flip side.
I said that part.
Oh, I wasn't listening to you. I was listening to...
You were thinking about
Big
Sailor
Mikey
Moon.
P. Because I always listen to Big Mikey P.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
Thank you guys so much for listening. And again, I want to thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel and to actually just being a part of my life, because it's been so overwhelmingly awesome to get to know you guys and to be your friend. And I hope to make this community better in terms of me talking to you guys more, because I think it's good for my health. Mm-hmm. And you guys make me feel nice. And the reason why I say if you guys make me feel nice is that you're actually talking about things that I like, or things that I'm not aware of. I'm talking about you, Big Mikey P. But I actually look these things up. And I end up enjoying the process of looking into these things and eventually watching some of these things and just liking the same things as you guys. And thank you for not thinking I'm weird or odd.
What was it that I believe it was Lower Lucas Jr. said earlier, but it may have been Doc Widener or maybe even Captain Alsa's. Nothing wrong with being weird.
Oh, like The Craft. We are the weirdos, sir. Anyways, enough of my gush. Gushings.
That also sounds bad. I think maybe we should just cut it off there.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much. And have a really lovely day. And we will see you next week. Or we'll speak to you next week. And on Sunday, you'll have a brand new episode of Totally Schway about Mudslide.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye. Love you. Bye.